Pecco Bagnaia is being sold to the public as a man simply changing teams. Two-time world champion, 4-year deal, clean Ducati exit. Almost romantic. But that version collapses the moment you look at who is not following him to Noal. Bagnaia is reportedly walking into Aprilia without the one person who built every single victory of his MotoGP career. And once you understand who took Bagnaia's place in that man's plans, the whole rider market looks different. Is Bagnaia making the boldest reset of his career, or removing the only person who still understood him? And why is Aprilia suddenly the factory every champion wants to run toward? The headlines treat this like 3 separate stories. Bagnaia signs for Aprilia. Jorge Martin finds time at the Jerez test. KTM brings new aero for Pedro Acosta. That framing is wrong. These 3 threads are the same story told from 3 sides of the paddock. Aprilia is not the alternative anymore. It is the destination. Ducati just lost its king. KTM is racing to keep its prince before the championship leaves him behind. And the man holding all 3 threads is a 40-year-old Italian engineer most casual fans could not pick out of a lineup. Start with the shape of the move, because the surface details already tell you something is off. Reports out of Italy say Bagnaia has agreed a 2+2 deal with Aprilia, committing through 2028 with an option to 2030. Long-term contracts like this are rare in modern MotoGP. Marc Marquez was the last rider to sign a 4-year deal, and even he walked away from Honda before completing it. Aprilia is not signing Bagnaia, it is locking him down. This is not a factory hedging. This is a factory betting, and the bet only works if the bike keeps getting stronger. Bagnaia lost the faith of Ducati management after a poor 2025 and a worse start to 2026. Pedro Acosta has signed a 2-year deal to replace him from 2027. Bagnaia briefly looked Yamaha-bound before pivoting to Aprilia. None of that is the real story. The real story is what he is leaving behind to make this work. His name is Cristian Gabarrini. He has been at Bagnaia's side since 2019, when Pecco arrived in MotoGP at Pramac. He followed him to the factory team in 2021. He helped him win 2 world titles. He helped him take all 31 of his MotoGP victories. 7 years, both championships, every single win. And reports out of Italy say Bagnaia is going to Aprilia without him. And oh yeah, there is one more part of this. Gabarrini is not staying at Ducati out of loyalty to the brand. He is staying because Pedro Acosta personally asked for him. Acosta sees Gabarrini as the engineer who made Casey Stoner click, and he wants the same access to that knowledge. Sources inside Ducati say everything points toward Gabarrini working with Acosta in 2027. So Bagnaia is not just losing his crew chief, he is watching his crew chief get handed to the rider who took his seat. That is not a transfer. That is a replacement. This is where Bagnaia's move stops looking brave and starts looking exposed. The man stepping into Gabarini's place at Aprilia is reportedly Daniele Romagnoli, Jorge Martin's current crew chief. Read that again. Bagnaia is walking into Aprilia to inherit the engineer who has spent the last year building the bike around the rider he is replacing. No soft landing, no familiar voice on the headset. Bagnaia is not asking Aprilia to rebuild the bike around him. He is asking Aprilia to rebuild him. Now layer in what Aprilia actually looks like, because this is what makes Bagnaia's gamble look smarter than desperate. Marco Bezzecchi opened the season with 3 straight wins and leads the championship. Jorge Martin is second, 11 points behind, and recovering from winter surgery that wiped out his preseason. Trackhouse Aprilia's filled positions 1 and 2 on the Jerez test timesheets. That is a factory at the front of the grid in every column that matters. Even Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi admitted in Jerez that Aprilia has definitely made a leap forward in fast corner downforce. When the rival team boss says that on Italian TV, the power shift is not a rumour anymore. Martin finished only 4th at Jerez and looked frustrated, but the mood pivoted on Monday. He was 11th on the timesheets and grinning. He told MotoGP.com it was a really positive day and that the Sunday struggle was tyre-related, not bike balance. The deeper line came earlier in the weekend when Martin said the Aprilia feels like my bike now and compared the sensation to his title-winning 2024. A rider does not say that lightly. He says that when the bike has stopped fighting him, the parts he tested on Monday improved turning, rear grip, and overall naturalness. Aprilia is not finished developing this bike. Aprilia is still finding more. Hold that picture in your head. Bezzecchi leading, Martin closing, Bagnaia incoming, Trackhouse satellites topping test sheets. Now compare it to KTM. Acosta arrived at Jerez 4th in the standings and left 35 points behind Bezzecchi. He failed to make Q2, crashed in the sprint, took race damage, and finished 10th. He gave the Monday test a 6 out of 10 and said the new aero is touching our weakest points at the moment, which are top speed and also the stopping. Then he admitted the part that should worry every KTM engineer. He is still struggling with mid-corner speed. That single sentence reframes the entire KTM story. Top speed and braking aero will help Acosta defend on the straight and attack into corners. It will not help him carry speed through the middle of a corner, where lap times are made. The problem has not been solved. The problem has moved, and the timeline is brutal. Acosta has already said the new parts likely will not be ready for Le Mans, and the Barcelona test is for refinement, not experimentation. Every weekend KTM hesitates is a weekend Aprilia and Ducati build a points lead. Acosta cannot close on talent alone. People thought this was about Bagnaia choosing Aprilia. It was really about Aprilia choosing the future of MotoGP and locking it down before anyone else realised what was happening. The factory that used to chase Ducati is now signing Ducati's two-time champion, leading the title fight with Bezzecchi, sitting second with Martin, and watching its satellite top in-season test sheets. Meanwhile, Ducati is bleeding its leading man and handing his engineer to a rider who has not yet won a MotoGP Grand Prix. KTM is selling Acosta a future its engineers cannot deliver fast enough. And this is what matters. Bagnaia did not leave Ducati because he wanted to. He left because Ducati moved on first. He did not pick Aprilia because it was the safest landing pad. He picked it because it was the only landing pad strong enough to rebuild him without his old crew chief. The Gabarrini split is not a side detail. It is the whole story. If Bagnaia is right, he wins back his career. If he is wrong, the man who replaced him at Ducati will be using Bagnaia's own engineer to beat him. Aprilia has momentum. Ducati has losses. KTM has questions it cannot answer in time. So tell us, is Bagnaia walking into a championship factory or away from the only setup that made him a champion? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video appearing on your screen right now.